In the post-credits scene for episode 8 of Wandavision, we're introduced to a new variant of the MCU's version of the Vision. This version has a completely white appearance, so it's not quite the version we remember within the MCU. Now, besides the new drip, the white version of the Vision has some pretty interesting comic book history, so today I thought we would go back in time and review the origin of the white suit for the Vision. But first, if you haven't checked out our videos on Tommy and Billy Maximoff or Agatha Harkness, check those out because they give some meaningful context to some of the later events that surround this story. And also, we could use the views. Who am I kidding? Come on. The first appearance of Vision in his white form was first shown on the cover of West Coast Avengers 45 during the event Vision Quest. But before we get to that reveal, let's discuss what led up to the formation of this white Vision. The West Coast Avengers was a team of heroes that was founded and led by Hawkeye and formed at the request of Vision, who was acting as the Avengers chairman. Originally, the team consisted of Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Tigra, and James Rhodes acting as Iron Man. However, as the team progressed, Mockingbird left, Iron Man quit, and after the events of the Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries, the two lovers also joined the team and acted as mainstays for quite some time. During the event Vision Quest, Wanda wakes up and notices that Vision is not by her side. Despite the fact that the Vision doesn't really sleep, he chooses to lay in bed with Wanda for the illusion of normalcy. When Wanda wakes, she goes looking for Vision but can't find him. The team is then sporadically attacked by Ultron at their own compound. The West Coast Avengers do battle with Ultron before Hank Pym, Ultron's creator, is able to successfully deduce that the Ultron that they're fighting is a fake. Wonder Man is able to destroy the fake Ultron, and the team learns that the fight was simply a distraction. A distraction that leads to the discovery that Vision is missing, and all of the documentation and backups for the Vision have been deleted by an unknown party from all of the Avengers' computers. And I guess I should say that it's unknown, but it's only really unknown for like 10 seconds, because Mockingbird arrives and tells the team that, it was her that did it, but why, Mockingbird? Why? Mockingbird had recently left the West Coast Avengers and was approached by S.H.I.E.L.D. and asked to assist them in developing contingencies against the Vision, who had recently kind of gone crazy and almost killed everyone on the planet by accessing the US's nuclear weapons arsenal. Mockingbird ends up assisting them in developing simulations that would help neutralize the team if necessary. Unbeknownst to them, the agencies put that plan into motion, kidnapping the Vision, planting a subconscious block in Wanda's memories to prevent her from saving him, distracting the Avengers, and deleting the info on Vision from their computers. Mockingbird helps the team track down the Vision, who's being kept in an abandoned factory that's been repurposed to dissect and study him. The Avengers learn that the shadowy organization behind this little operation is just about every government on Earth. Turns out when Vision hacked the World Defense Network and almost ended all life on the planet with nukes, that got a couple people worried. The world governments banded together, kidnapped Vision, and dissected him to prevent Vision from ever going off the leash again. The team retrieves Vision's components and learns that Dr. Phineas Horton, the man who helped build Vision from the body of the original synthezoid Human Torch, was actually alive and well, despite Vision stating for years that he was killed by Ultron. The Avengers determine that nearly everything Vision knows about his origin was told to him by Immortus, and he may not 100% be accurate around these events, which is kind of like the comic book writer's way of being like, this story isn't going to work out with the events that used to come before this, so let's just move around some pieces and retcon some junk and it'll all work out in the end. Anyway, as I said before, the Avengers leave the compound and they take Vision with them. Scarlet Witch also destroys the base on her way out in an act of anger, and the team travels back to their compound and Hank Pym begins the process of putting Vision back together. However, Hank Pym is very, very blunt with Scarlet Witch, stating that Vision's components are intact, but his memories have been erased from both the body he was inhabiting as well as the backups he kept in the Avengers' computer. Wanda's concerns that she would ever see her husband as she remembered him continued to grow, with Hank promising to do whatever he could to retrieve them. As the team discusses the events, Wonder Man and Wanda start to hear a commotion in the lab, and the pair is then attacked by a partially reassembled Vision, clearly unable to determine friend from foe. Hank Pym is, however, able to shut down Vision with a device he built. Hank states that the only reason Vision attacked was because he programmed him to be in automatic defense mode. When Hank is finished rebuilding the Vision, he summons Wanda to the lab and she is introduced to this newly rebuilt version of Vision. This new version of Vision has taken a ghostly white spectral appearance after his artificial flesh was damaged. However, when Scarlet Witch moves in to embrace him, he gives her a very android-like and cold response. Hank informs her that while Vision's base consciousness has been reintroduced, his memories and emotions will not be able to be reintegrated unless Hank can duplicate the process that gave Vision his personality before. When Vision was first created, his brain's matrix was comprised of the brain patterns of Avengers member Simon Williams, aka the Wonder Man. When Wanda confronts Simon, asking him to allow Hank to perform the process and reintroduce the brain scans into Vision, Wonder Man refuses. He states that he feels that Vision having his brain patterns was a violation of him, like a piece of his soul was ripped out. This enrages Wanda, and she causes an entire cliff to fall on Wonder Man, who is unharmed. Simon's desire to keep his brain scans comes in the revelation that Wonder Man was always in love with the Scarlet Witch. In fact, he starts to deduce that it's possible that the reason the Vision fell in love with Scarlet Witch in the first place was because Wonder Man also had those feelings for her. However, Vision and Wanda do remain together. Vision kind of essentially honors the fact that he is married despite the fact that he doesn't have those emotional bonds that he used to. Instead, he essentially acts as Wanda's partner, or sidekick maybe. It's clear that he doesn't feel for her the same way that she does for him. In her grief, Wanda attempts to retrieve the Vision's memories by going to a shady organization that courts her with the promises of fixing Vision. It turns out to be a ruse by a being known as That Which Endures, which is a sentient being that is present within all life on Earth, and it's responsible for choosing which species live and die. Realizing that mutant kind would provide a better host over humanity, That Which Endured kidnapped the Scarlet Witch in a plan that would have seen all of humanity killed off, but it fails and Wanda and the Avengers recover. As I mentioned before, if you haven't checked out my video on Billy and Tommy Maximoff's comic book origins, you want to check that out because it's going to give you a lot of context around what happens next, but keep in mind that Vision and Scarlet Witch's children are reabsorbed by the demon Mephisto and they cease to exist within the Marvel Universe. This causes Scarlet Witch to go insane. Because of that, the witch Agatha Harkness has to essentially erase Wanda's memories of the children. That event also causes Vision and Wanda to grow apart, and the two ultimately decide to separate and go their own ways. Vision did, however, regain some semblance of his emotional side after he consults a doctor in the field of artificial intelligence, Miles Lipton. Miles created a holographic device that allows Vision to look like a regular person and go and live within society to learn about them. In the meantime, he determines that Vision will never regain his old personality without brain scans from someone else to build his consciousness on top of. Those scans end up coming from Miles' deceased son, who had recently been killed by thugs working for the Roxxon Corporation. Vision helps Miles uncover the murder and get justice for his son, Alex. And the Vision was actually able to retain a new body that resembled his old body when his brain and consciousness were transplanted into the body of another reality's Vision. And that story is a bit longer and a bit more convoluted, so we are not going to cover it here, but I hope you learned a lot about Vision and his various bodies, and if you did, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. This has been Nick with Key Issues, and remember the motto, Vision over everything.